Welcome to Amora. Here we talk about love, relationship, and marriage. We talk about qualities that helps husband and wife to build stronger relationship, to build love that flourishes so that their marriage will last longer and they also find satisfaction in it as well. In this episode, we'll be talking about a story that has been making around the internet, the social media. But before we talk about the story, before we delve into it, we know that two top contributors to broken marriages are infidelity and lack of commitment in marriage. Those who are responsible for this, those who abandon their marriage, those who influence others to break their marital vow, they are often not held accountable for their actions. They are only left to bear the moral burden of breaking someone's home. That is, if they have a conscience. In the worst case scenario, they are tried in the court of public opinion. That is why we hear people are referred to as husband or wife snatchers. But it appears that things are changing depending on where you live. You can sue or be sued for breaking someone's marriage. Now let's delve into the story. The story is about love, about influence, about betrayal. A story that ended in a courtroom where a jury's gavel echoed louder than millions of social media likes. This story involved a woman, her husband, and an influencer. Akira was the woman's name. She thought she knew her life. She had a husband, a home. They do things that couples normally do. They talk about their dreams, bills, take care of kids. They do school runs, everything they do. Normal thing, they were okay, even though their marriage was not perfect, but it was theirs. But on the other hand, on the other side, we have an influencer who is very bold and charismatic. It's the kind of person that she lights up a room even before she enters it. She has millions of followers. Well, it happens that the husband of Akira was the manager of this influencer. At first, work relationship, they talk about, professional, they talk about their profession, that is talking about business talk, talk about the strategies, talk about content. These are normal business talks, discussions that they are harmless. But as time passes by, they moved from business relationship to something more personal, emotional. So they get involved emotionally and also physically. That's made the man, that is the husband, to begin to neglect, begin to abandon the family. It was before it started with, secret things, talking late at night, sleeping later, coming back home later, that is how it started. But it grew to the point that this woman influenced this man to abandon the marriage. So he left home. But before then, it was a secret, but how long can you keep such secrets when two people are in love, especially one who has this power of influence on other people on social media? How long can you keep that secret? She was flaunting another woman's husband, celebrating how long they've been to her followers. So this woman, Akira, the wife of this man, she was no longer contending with, another woman that has influenced her husband away. She was contending with the whole social media, people on the internet. what will happen? Well, it happened that where they live in North Carolina, there's a law for that. There's a law that actually stipulates that one could be sued for breaking someone's marriage. Well, that was what the wife did. The wife sued the influencer. And before the jury, all the evidence lay bare before him. In the courtroom, we have this woman fighting for the truth of her life. How everything was shattered. She felt destroyed. She felt erased by the action of the husband. Of course, being influenced by this woman. And the other woman, which is the social media influencer, she decided to defend herself. She's going to actually, she stood where lawyers normally sit in a courtroom, defending her actions. In her own words, she said that the wife knew that the marriage was over. So what can she do? Well, to her, that means that the wife gave her consent for them to be together because she knew the marriage was over. Who does that? Well, it was time for the judge to give verdicts. Well, the judge applied two laws. One was she was fined for alienation of affection. And the second, she received a fine for criminal conversation. So these two laws was what was applied, and she was given a fine of $1.75 million to pay to the woman. So this Akira, that they broke her marriage. But before we talk about the lessons we can learn from this story, let's talk about these two laws that we applied. Talking about the first one, alienation of affection. When a third party begin to influence a married man or a married woman to abandon his or her marital vow to be with him or her, well, that kind of law could be applied. It means that there's a loss of affection, neglect, and abandonment totally. So loss of love is there. The person no longer show interest in the marriage that they profess to, or they promise to protect. That is one. The second is criminal conversation. Criminal conversation, though the name sounds criminal, criminal, but that does not mean that there's criminality in it. What it means in actuality is that that is the person, the third party, has slept. You've had sexual intercourse with another man's wife. So when you go sleeping with another man's wife or another woman's husband, you could be charged for that. That is infidelity. It means, adultery. It means that, yes, that in a civil case, you could be held accountable for doing that. So these two laws in this state are called civil torts. That was what was applied in that case. And the judge awarded this woman that her home was broken, her marriage was shattered, the dreams, all that they built together, awarded her $1.75 million. But let us calm down. What are the lessons? What can we learn from this story? Well, for those who actually hired, or if you're working with someone who is married, you employ them or you are employed, keep it professional. Do not mix business with that kind of personal relation or emotional relationship. You are breaking someone's marriage, you are breaking someone's home. It's not something that is good to do. Keep it professional. Let it be known. Okay, this person is married. This is how far you can go when it comes to business talk, when it comes to discussions, even staying in a place that you will be tempted to do something that is immoral. You have to avoid it. Keep it professional because that person has a wife, that person has a husband, and the same way you want to dignify that marriage. So you don't contribute to breaking someone's home. We already have enough of broken homes. You don't want to contribute to that anymore. So that's the lesson number one we can learn. What about the person that is employed? What can you take from it? If you're married and you're working for someone, you also have to keep that relationship professional. You don't have to mix that emotional or physical in it. Keep it as it is. Professional relationship, business relationship. When you go back home, that ends there. And of course, you let there be a line that shouldn't be crossed. Even if you think that your job is on the line, don't let anyone to cross that line and you don't cross that line away. You have to stay faithful to your husband or to your wife. You don't have to keep secret away from your partner. That's another lesson that we can learn. Don't keep anything secret. Whatever that is happening in your workplace, confide in your partner. Your partner is your confidant. He's the most closest person you can tell things. So why keep it away from him or her? When you confide, solution will come. Of course, your partner is not going to be fighting your boss, but there are other ways you can go about it. In the worst case scenario, you quit. You don't work there because this person wants to wreck your home. This person wants to break your marriage. So don't keep it secret. So another lesson we learn from this story is that, of course, secret things, when you start keeping secret, it will grow. It will become a shadow. It will grow and become a shadow. And in this era, someone don't necessarily need to come to your home to walk into your marriage to break it. The phone can become a means in which someone can walk into your home to destroy your marriage. It can also become a doorway in which you will walk through to leave the marriage that you promised to protect. Above all, is a reminder that influence is power, and power without boundaries can break things. Thank you for listening to this dramatic retelling. If this story touched something in you, if it reminded you of your fragile places in your own relationship, or if it made you to rethink about your own digital boundaries, then let it be a call to guard your heart, to strengthen your marriage, to choose transparency over secrecy, and connection over distraction. Until next time, stay tuned, stay true, stay intentional, stay in love.